Right, so let's do this. Question 36. Question 36. What we have here is a scenario that looks like this. So again, the plan is to sell 420 chairs in March and 440 in April. It says there are 12 chairs in um, okay in March. It's a bit of a long one, isn't it? So you're making 12 chairs. You have an opening, forgive me, you have an opening inventory of 12 chairs in March, and the company's planning to have 15 chairs. Um, let's just do March first. So at the end of March, you're planning to have 15 chairs, but you're hoping to sell 420 in March. So that means if you're going to start with 12, you need to produce a certain number of chairs in March. I'm just going to put March here. Then sell 420 and then have 15 left. So the question here is, how many chairs do you produce? Right, so therefore you produce, if you like, 15 plus 420 minus 12. So 15 plus 15 plus 420 minus 12 is 423. So you produced 423 chairs in. Now you start, let's just get rid of this. Now that we know how many chairs were produced in March, let's talk about April. So in April, you start April with, of course, 15 chairs because that's the closing inventory of March. You produce a certain number of chairs. You want to sell 440 and you want to be left with 15 chairs as well. It's one slightly easier. So if you like, that means you needed to have produced, in effect, x is equal to 15 plus 440 minus 15. I suppose you could think of it that way because you have 15 at the beginning, 15 at the end. So you just need to produce the exact amount, even though. So x is equal to 440. So you need to produce 440 in April, right? 440. So let's add the two together. 423 plus 440 takes us to 860. 863. 863. Now let's look at 37. So a little bit of, I might just actually jump into my Excel program to actually do that quickly, and it'll be faster that way. And just do that, and just very quickly write here January, and drag that along to March, and literally repeat the same thing here for the actual cash sales. So I'm just going to put the sales figures and then also put the budget. So what we have here, is that we have credit sales 5,600, 6,400. So 5,600, 6,400, and then in March, we have 6,200. Yes, so we have 6,200. Okay, right, that's fine. And then it says, then let's look at purchases. First of all, depreciation is not a cash flow, so this is totally irrelevant. Now we have purchases here: 5,900, 5,900, 6,600, and 6,500. Right, that's what we have. Right, so let's just tidy that up a little. So these are actual sales, credit sales, right? And these are purchase. The inflow is going to happen. What the plan is for the inflows, right? And that's the issue here. What's the plan for the inflows here? Well, here's the plan. It says that of this stuff you've sold, you're going to get 40% in the month of purchase and the rest being paid in the following month. Right. So let's just do that. So it means that in January, I'm going to get 40% of this. Oops, sorry. I'm going to get 40% of what we sold in January on credit. And then in February, I'll just use different colors for January so you can sort of see that. January. And then I'm going to get the rest in, well, actually, I might as well just do it here in yellow. I'm going to get the rest, which of course will be the 5,600 minus 2240 because I received that in February. I'll just put that as yellow as well. Let's see what happens in February. So February, you're going to get 40% of what it is you sell. 40% of what it is you sell, right? And I'll just use a different pen color. I mean, a different shade. Let's use blue. And then in March, you're going to get the difference, right? In March, you're going to get the difference, which is this minus the 2,560. So you're going to get that in March, but that's come from February. That's the balance. And then in March, you're going to get 40% of what it is you sell. And then the rest, of course, I'll use a different color. Let's give that a light green. And then the rest, of course, which I'm not interested in, but I'll just show you, must be therefore this, right? But I'm not interested in that. Okay, great stuff. And then in terms of purchases, pretty straight actually. It does say or tell us directly that you have 2 months of credit being used, which means that when you buy in January, you pay in March. So in March, we will literally we'll pay the whole thing in March from January. And of course, everything in February we will pay in April. We're not interested though in that, but I'm just showing you for reference. So the question here is, what is my net income or net profit or net cash flow? It will be, well, this comes in, and this goes out, and that goes out. So you have £420 difference, and you have a 420 net cash inflow, £420. Okay, right, great stuff. Here we're using the high-low method, always good examples to keep practicing. I know you must have seen this already. And again, it's that graph, and I have that there. I take the lowest. The lowest here is 72 units. So 72. And what is the cost of 72? That's 2872. And then I have the highest, which is 96. It's 96. And what is the cost at 96? Come across. You have 3426. So the high-low method literally says, I say 3426 minus 2872 divided by 96 minus 72, right? That's what you're doing. So you're having 3426 minus 2872. This is equal to 554, and this is 96 minus 72, which is over 24. So we have 554 divided by 24, which is £23. So your variable cost is £23.08. And I can just pick one of them. I'll pick that one. So my variable cost is £23.08. So I'll pick the one with 96 units. So when I make 96 units, I have a total variable cost of 96, of course, times £23.08 times 96. That gives me 2,216. But then the total cost is 3,426. So if I subtract that 3,426, you get a fixed cost of 1,210. So your fixed cost is 1,210. Your variable cost is 2,216. Your total cost is 3,426. Right, good. And let's just clean this area up so we can do question 39. Give this a bit of a clean. Yes, let's just clean that all up. So what do we have here? Again, we take that same process. I ask the question, how many rugs do I have at the beginning of October? You have 20 rugs. I need to make so many. I intend on selling 110, and I want to have 10 rugs at the end of October. So in terms of how many rugs do I need to make, I will need to make 10 plus 110 minus 20. So that's 120 minus 20 is equal to 100 rugs. I need to make 100 rugs. So to make 100 rugs, I need 5 kilograms each. So of course that's nice, that's 500 kilograms. is what I need to use in production. But the question is asking me how many kilograms do I need to buy? Well, I have 5 kilograms. I'll just change my pen color. I have 5 kilograms in stock. I need to buy a certain amount of kilograms so I can release 500 kilograms to the guys in production. And I want to be left with 3 kilograms at the end of the day. So I need to therefore buy 3 kilograms plus 500 minus 5, which of course is 498 498 kilograms. Yes, 498 kilograms. And that's the answer there for that. So that's your purchases budget. Let's look at question 40. Just wanted to pause this for a second. Okay, and finally with question 40, there's a number of ways of looking at this, but I like to use this graph because it helps us sort of analyze what's really going on. So it says here that this mechanic takes 3.6 hours to complete a standard car service. And what we have actually, one second, let me just erase that actually. Sorry, I mistyped. So it takes 3.5 hours to complete a standard car service. So they take 3.5 hours. So, and they in 1 year they've done 4,050 standard car services were complete. So what really happened here was they actually did a total, because it says that's what they took. They took 3.6 to make one, and then they did 4,050. This is actual. So actual activity, if you like, is 3.6 times 4,000 3.6 times 4,050. So they did in total 14,580 hours to do whatever it is they were doing. Now, they would have done this that I'm trying to find out. So we would have paid them a certain per hour. I'm just going to call that X, right? So paying them per hour, I would have paid them, if you like, 14,580 times X. That's what they would have spent. So in terms of actual spend, which is what I'm really trying to find out. I'll change my pen color. Now they should have spent, this is the point, they should have spent £15 an hour. That's what you should pay these people. I don't know where this is, but I'm just gonna put that here. £15. The first thing note to make here is that it says here that the labor rate variant, the labor efficiency is nil, which means that the budgeted number of hours to make whatever it is we were making is also 15,580. It's the same thing. If it was different, then we would have an efficiency variance. I would say, oh, well, you did a certain number of hours versus what you should have done. It tells us they're the same. So I know also that the actual hours and the standard hours to make these number of units are the same. But it says there's a difference. It says that actually what happens here is that the labor rate variance is favorable, which means that what you did, if you like, has cost less than what we expected you to do. So I expected you to spend £15 per hour on these 14,580 hours. That's what I expected you to do. But you were favorable with what you did, and they're telling me that the difference is 21,870. So they're telling me that, Oyen, this is what we expected, and this is greater than what they actually did, which was 14,580 times X, which is the actual rate per hour, if you like, by 21,870. So in effect, 15 times 14,580 minus 14,580x, which is what I'm looking for, is equal to 21,870. So let me first find this 15 times 14,580. That's 218,700 minus the 14,580x is equal to 21,870. So it means that we actually spent in total, I'll take this 870 I'll take that away, minus 21,870. We actually spent a total of 196,830 on those number of hours. This is equal to the 14,580x. So the question is, what is x? It's just the this 196,830 divided by the 14,580. Divided by the 14,580, and that's 13.5. So that's how I get the 13.5, right? So a bit of an interesting question. The point is, you need to understand is that we have spent less than we should have. So I guess the question is, what should we have spent? Well, we know it's £15. That's a standard labor hour times the number of hours against what you actually spent, and we know it's whatever the number of hours are times the labor rate per hour, which is what we don't know. That's what I'm calling x. Yes. So we know what the difference is, and we just work through this. I think the graph is a good way to do it, but again, if you can see what it is you're trying to do, you would have thought that you would have seen that you had to find the total amount of labor cost, divide that by the total number of hours to get the actual labor rate per hour. Good, and that brings us to the end of these series of questions.